So today is September the 4th, and we basically started our class today doing a checkpoint. And a checkpoint is the kids working on these 4 questions until basically they get them right. It is a way for me to see who needs some help and all that good stuff. Now, once they conquered that, we went on to this. This is what I call, it's classwork, meaning we started it in class and finish it for homework. I do realize it's 20 problems, but my kiddos who have sat here and really worked hard have left here with mostly 5 or 6 problems for homework. Some students a little different, but that's to be talked about later. So, here we go. So what I'm going to do is, in this video, I just want to work with you. I want you to be able to check if you lined it up correctly, if your answer's right and all that. Videos, it's not always about me giving you a bunch of answers. It's kind of like a checking thing. Okay? So, starting out with number 1, with addition. Okay, we talked about just a little bit ago. We had a little refresher. With addition, the numbers can be flip-flopped. It doesn't matter if this is on top or this is on top, but your decimals have to be lined up. There's no other way to line that thing up. Decimal has to be brought straight down. Can't bounce it to the left or right, straight down. So it is addition. If you want to put a 0 there, you can. So on number 1, you should have 7.27. Everybody good so far? Okay. I'm going to do number 2 now because it has a whole number. We keep talking about whole numbers. Thinking about number 2 there, 65. Think about it as $65. Parents writing a check or whatever. I know you don't see many of them lately, but think about it as 65.0 at least, right? At least 1 0. In fact, since this number down on the bottom has 2 numbers, why not just put 2 zeros? Okay? That is the only way that thing can be lined up. So on the end is 7, a 9, 14, 6, 7, 8, and 8. And decimal has to be right there. Okay. Now, on 3 and 4, what I'm going to do is just show you me setting them up. I don't want to give you the answer yet. We'll talk answer tomorrow. But on number 3, do you have it kind of set up like this? And that 4.9 has to be right there, with that decimal coming straight down. That you could put 4.9 on top, but it would have to be above the O, the 0. So check how you wrote that one. Yep, and you can put zeros out here to fill in those spots if you want. And then number 4, to just kind of show you how to set it up. Number 4 is 8.1, and then 13 is a whole number. So we need to write it as 13. I'm just going to stand here. 13.0. Right. So what I'm saying is that 3 can only be under that 8. It is the only way to do that. Yes. It happens. Just copying from one page to the other. Yes. Okay. Now that's all the add. So I've kind of did some, but set up some. Okay. Any questions on add? Okay. I'm going to do a subtraction now. Here we go. On subtraction, I'm going to kind of move it up a little bit. Remember, if you're at home, you can always pause it and kind of wait a little bit and work it out. Okay, so number 5 here. Remember, with subtraction, whatever is first has to be on the top. So 5.903 has to be on top. There is no other way to do this. And then on the bottom is the 0.86. And the 8 has to be under that 9 because it's got to be lined up that way. Okay, add some zeros if you'd like in those empty spots. 3 minus 0 is 3. Can't do 0 take away 6, so I borrow from the 9, make it an 8, and make that 0 a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring down a decimal, and 5 minus 0 is 5. Okay, good. Listen, homework is confidence building. When I go over answers, that's all it is. You guys who are getting them right are like, yes. And that just means you're working with, you're realizing, wait a minute, I'm getting better at this. Okay? Look at number 6 now. Did you put 90.4 on top? And then on the bottom, there's the decimal, has to go right there. So put below it the 28, and then the 5 and the 8. Okay, add a 0 if need be. If that helps you, do it. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see it. Okay, so here we go with borrowing. Guys, just do one row at a time. You know you need to borrow one step at a time. Then do the next row. Can you do 3 from 5? No. So go to the 0. He doesn't have any. So go to the next neighbor, which is a 9. The 9 will be a 8. And the 0 will be a 10. Because you got to sling a 1 first. Now you can borrow. I know this is weird, but now borrow from a 10. I'm trying. Make it a 9 and make that 3 a 13. 13 minus 5, 8. 9 minus 8, 1. 8 minus 2, 6. Okay. We could check it. Add these two together. Should get the top number. Okay, setting up 7 and 8. I'm just going to set it up. Okay, how do you write 6 in $6? Yes. 6 decimal 00. Then line up 2.61. Do some subtraction. I'm going to leave it like that. Kind of let you finish it. Okay. And then we'll kind of check them tomorrow. Promise. Number 8. This one looks weird. It's 2.9. Has to be on top. Then the 0.603 on bottom. Yes, I got some weird numbers sticking out over here. There was a motorcycle, but that's okay. Okay. Bring in some zeros. You can even put one here if you want. Any empty spaces, if you feel more comfortable putting a 0, put it. Because here you got to do some borrowing. So be careful. Okay. We'll leave that part for tomorrow. Okay. Go into multiply. Okay. Yes, and we'll try to do number 9. Here we go. On number 9, it is 84.3.345. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, you can like ignore the decimals for a minute. We can put them back in the answer. It's kind of up to you. Here we go. I'm going to do one row at a time. With the 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, we go to the next row. It is the 4. I need a placeholder. Okay. Now I'm going to put 2 placeholders. That's going to be a biggie, guys. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 25. Add it up. Nothing has changed with actual multiplying. Whew. Okay. How many numbers are behind decimals?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need those 4 behind it with a decimal right there. Trey.
I have every single thing except one number.
One little number. I know, and it happens. That's why when I grade on a test, this thing might be worth 8 points on a test. So what I do is if you show me your work, I will try to go in there. Let's say you say that 7's a 6. If that is it, I will circle it and put like -2 instead of -9. A lot better. Okay? So that's why you want to show your work. There'll be partial credit on the test Friday. Okay? Yes. What number? Okay, did you set it up like me?
No, I put on, but I put the decimals together.
Okay, so let me just show you the difference, because I think y'all need to kind of, it's like that. Okay, so you got,
3, 4, 5.
okay,
And then I added 2 zeros.
okay, awesome. Listen, I want to show y'all. Some of you haven't ever kind of looked at this before, but your answer is going to be the same. Just kind of watch. It's going to take you a minute. Okay, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 15. So that should be your top row. Put a placeholder. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0. Wait a minute, I did that wrong. 4 times 8 is 3. Okay, 17, carry 1. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 1 is 33. I messed that part up. Okay, now I'm going to go to 3. I need 2 placeholders. So 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 24 plus 1 is 25. Okay, watch. I'm going to add it together. 0, 0, 5, 3, 18. Okay, so do you see how your numbers match? The only thing different is you have more zeros.
The top row I messed up. I got 141 and 1.
So that's just that top row.
141,000. But I had got 141,150.
Kind of like now that's a carried one. Like when I've added this row up, I carried that one.
Yeah, I carried. Yeah.
So 40. Oh, you got 41.
Yeah, I got.
So all it is the one that you carried up here. I think you forgot to, or the 2 you forgot to add in there. Okay, and listen, this is what I'm getting to. Like, I'm glad he asked that. Look, how many numbers are behind decimals?
1. But there's 6.
6. How many times do I have to move it over then? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look where my decimal goes. It is still between the 9 and the 0. It's just that this person has some zeros hanging out on the end. their answer is just as correct as mine. That's what I'm trying to get to you guys. Like, it's okay if you do it this way. It just kind of ends up with more work. Yes? 11. You know what I'll do? I will skip to 11 and leave y'all. Let me set up 10 just to kind of show you real quick. Okay. 10 is 29.5. I would do 6.2 like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave y'all with 10. And I promise tomorrow I'll know what I left you with because I keep these pages. Okay, so let's go to 11. Okay, 1 sec. Now, 11, the weird part about 11 is that point 008. You've got to consider that these zeros are important and have to be included. Then I would put the 6.4 right there. You can do this different ways, but you got to consider just how many numbers are behind decimals. So 8 times 4, 32. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 4 times 0 is 0. Placeholder. 6 times 8, 48. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. 0. Okay. How many times should we move it over? More than that. 4. Look at it, though. I want you to see why it's 4, guys. 1, 2, 3 up there. But you still got that one. And that's what a lot of kids will forget to kind of move over is that last. Make sure you check all the rows. Okay, You can. If the 0 is here, you're good to go. If you even got a 0 back here, perfect. Perfect. Okay. On 12, something else, what?
Just verbiage.
12, I'm just going to show you how to set it up.
That's all I need.
But that way I will have done 2 of this one too, just a little bit different order. 3, 9. And I would just do this. Like, I would line it up like just regular multiplication. Okay, now I'm going to go down. I'm going to do some of the division. I have a question. Some of you have already gotten to the division. Is there a certain one that you know you're confused on? You want me to work? Which one?
Well, it's not everybody knows. But on number 9, what I did when we were doing it without the zeros that I had did, I thought I totally messed up.
No, you're good. You're good. Listen, it's just that's why I keep saying it's with multiplication. If you put those zeros in there, it's like it makes extra work. Now, granted, the extra work's times 0. We all know times 0, but it is extra work. Yes.
I'm not to division yet, but I know tonight if I do this with homework, I'm going to be super confused.
Give it to me. 18. Okay. Ooh, I like it. Okay. 18. Let's look at this thing. Okay. Y'all get to see me do something off the top of my head. Here we go. 14.4. Okay. Yeah. So, let's look at this thing. Now, take it slow and it will help. Can y'all hear? Okay. And if you'll just do it like step by step, it'll work. Okay, can 15 go into 1? No. So put a 0 or an X. Can it go into just 17?
Yes, 1.
How many times? Once. 1 times 15 is 15. And there's 2 left over. Is 2 smaller than 15? Yes. So I'm going to slide it over. Bring down the 5.
And only do it one time.
One time. Because 2 15s is what?
30.
30. Too much. So we need just one again.
And that would be 10.
Okay. Give everybody a chance to kind of catch up. Okay. I'll bring down this 1.
My guess is about 90. So it would.
Well, slow down. Oh, 90 is your number. So you're thinking 6?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go over here and jot it because I have no clue. Okay, so I got 90. Yes. So 6. Can y'all see that over there? Okay, so this is my doodle work. Just leave it there. Okay, 6 is going to go on top of that 1, which is 90. I got 11 left over. Bring down the first 4, yes. So 6 was 90. Even if I try 7,
It's going to be, yeah.
am I right? 7 is 5 is 35, 7, yeah, 105.
So 100.
You think 7 will work?
Yeah.
8 would be
It would not be, because it would be 120. Oh, yeah.
120. Okay, so I want 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go up here and use a 7, which is 105. Nine. Bring down the last 4. And it is 6. It is 90. You may go if you want to finish watching it tonight. If you look at the,
Repeating, is it?
I don't know yet because I haven't made it that far. But if you want to look at the time, that'll tell you where to fast forward it to in this class. I'm going to keep going and see. 2 would be 30.
Can you do number 12 on the video?
I'll let you try it. Just try it. Goodbye. Goodbye. All I'm asking is you guys to try them tonight. 6 is 90. Oh, that's 0. That's 1. Whoops. Goodbye. What did I finally figure out? I think I finally figured out. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. It is
Where do I find your
repeating.
videos?
On the remind. When the remind comes out, do you have remind? Are you set up for remind? Okay, when the remind comes, it'll say link to video at, and you click that, and it'll go straight to YouTube. Yes. So, we have switched classes, and what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of back up, do some of the add, do some of the subtract with this group. You can go, this is 7th period. If y'all want to go straight in order, you can, okay? If you want to kind of jump around the way I am and check some work, that's fine also, okay? So what I'm going to do is, on 1 and 2, I want you to kind of just see, I'll start out with just seeing if 1 and 2, you have them set up correctly. Just set up correctly. Okay? So like on number 1, you should have 1.3, 5.97. And if you'd like to put the 0 there, go for it. Okay? And I'm going to let, you can work it if you want. I'm going to go down in a minute and work number 3 and 4. Okay. So number 2, 65 is really 65.0, guys. So that means when I do the 19 point and that decimal has to be lined up, this is the only way it can be. Only way, no other way. In fact, the decimal comes straight down to the answer. Decimal comes straight down to the answer. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do number 3 and 4, like work them out. Here we go. 10.239. So, and if you need to line it up like that, you can. If you want to put all the decimals for addition in a straight line. So, I look over here, 4.9. The 4 is on this side, the 9 is on this side. You cannot swap it, guys. That has to be in that order. No extra zeros inside it. Now, you can put zeros here. Okay. Kind of working that one. Give me a second. We'll talk about that one next. On number 4, that's a whole number 13. Okay, so like adding this up, you should have a 9, 3, 11, which is 5, and a 1. Got that one right?
Yes.
Okay. On number 4, it doesn't matter which one you put on top, but if you write 8.1 up here, I want you to think about it this way. Even if I go ahead and put the plus sign, and I put a decimal and another decimal, where does 13 go? Does it go under the 8 or the 1?
8.
The 8, right? It's got to go on that side. So it's kind of like 3, 1. Then it's all lined up perfectly. You can even put a 0 up here if you're dying to. Like it doesn't, that's fine. Does that help a little bit? Addition. Okay, because I'm trying to do just one topic at a time. Just addition. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is move down on 5 and 6 for this group. I'm just going to set them up. Now listen, on 5, that number has to be on the top. Whatever is first has to be on the top. Okay, so it should look like this. Number 6 would look like this. I'm just going to ask you to do this. If you have done any subtraction, 5 and 6, look up here and make sure you set it up the same. Because there is no other way to set up those subtractions. Okay. On number 7, you got 6. How do you write 6?
6 and put a decimal.
Decimal and a 0, right? And if I put my decimal right there and line it up, The 2 would be on this side. The 6 and the 1 on that side. Add a 0. And yes, it's not a great situation because it is borrowing, but on number 7, I'm going to show you what to do. Go down to the 6, make it a 5, and the 1 you borrowed can only land next door to make it a 10. Now you can borrow from the 10. Make it a 9, and make that a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. I'll give you a minute. It's okay. Trying to get ahead of me, and I'm going to pause this for just a second. See if you can get ahead of me. Okay, so the questions came up. Do we add the zeros? Yes, guys. I would, especially on subtraction, and especially down here on this end. Because a lot of you, your first answer down here will be 0 take away 3 is 3. But it's not. We got to borrow from the 9. Make it an 8. And make that 0 a 10. Then borrow from the 10. Make it a 9. And that 0 a 10. So, on number 8, I got 2.297. Okay, good. Yes, listen, that's what homework's for. It's not for torture. Your homework is to build you some confidence and get better each day. So like as we go through it each day, if you're doing it, doing the work, doing the classwork, doing the homework, then it's to make you feel just better each day about what you're doing. And gets all the mistakes worked out that maybe you thought you were doing right, okay? Okay, now 9 and 10. I'll be kind of honest and say I worked 9 and 10 earlier in the video. So if any of you guys would like to later kind of look at the video, maybe the beginning of it, you guys, maybe you'll see 9 and 10, but what I'll do is set it up for you, okay? Think about this as 8, 4, 3 and 3, 4, 5. Like if you want to just set it up as that, you can. I mean, if you want to just set it up that way. Now, when going through the math down here, you would have a row of numbers, then a placeholder, and then 2 placeholders.
Wouldn't I just go, since it was it had this one. This one didn't, would I just put the decimal right there?
Listen, that 13's got to be 13.0, not 1.3.
Okay.
$13. Okay, so if we got 2 placeholders and getting this thing all set up, if I go back up here and I put in a placeholder here, a decimal here, and my decimal here, that means there are 4 numbers behind the decimal. 4. There's that one, that one, that one, and that one. That means down here I've got to bump over my decimal 4 times in my answer. So my decimal would be somewhere around here, but there's got to be 4 numbers behind it. Does that kind of make sense? See if you can get that one. There'll be some numbers in front of it too, but Did y'all get it? Well, some of you've already worked it. I'm just wondering if your decimal's like anywhere near where it's supposed to be type thing. Uh-huh. I would do the 008 on top. 0.008 on top. You can do it on the bottom, but then you need to make sure you count those zeros as one of the numbers to move the decimal over. So like for that one, you would need to bump the decimal over 3 times here, and that would make 4. So you'd want to bring it over 4 times in your answer. Uh-huh. Right. 4 times 8, and then do the zeros. Uh-huh. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. So wait a minute, are you on this one? Okay. Are you on this one too?
Every time I get it wrong is because I put the decimals like someone else.
Okay. Wednesday, let me do this one and then we'll go back. Is that okay? Okay. It's okay. So like this one. If you're on number 9, check it. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 2 is 42. That should be your first row. Okay, go into the 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry a 1. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Carry a 1. 4 times 8 is 32 plus 1 is 33. Okay, I'm on the last row, which is the 3. I got 2 placeholders. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry a 1. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Okay, adding it up. First number is a 5. Second's a 3. 18. Okay, so I have filled up those 4 slots. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got to go on this side now, and 2. So 4 numbers over when it comes to bouncing the decimal over. Okay, I'm just going to kind of write down 10 in case you're wondering what it looks like. 29.5 times 6.2. Those just happen to line up. So like on that one, how many times would you bump the decimal over? 2, is that right? Like, do you agree with her? Okay, making sure. So 2 times to the left. Because there's 2 numbers behind decimals. So when you get down here to the answer, you'd go 1, 2, and put your decimal. Okay. 11's kind of odd, but I will show you. 0.008 and 6.4 is the way I would set it up. 1 second. You don't have to, but that's just the way I would do it.
Another decimal along the line like we did on
Okay, like you're wanting to bring it straight down, right? Okay, we don't do that though. Listen, in multiply, because we've hit multiply, you got to count how many numbers are behind decimals. So since there's 2 numbers up here in the question that are behind decimals, when you get down here to the answer, you would have 2 lines of numbers Okay, when you get down to the answer, you want to move it over twice, putting your decimal right there, because you want two numbers right here behind it. So you're always, for multiplication, we're always going to the left. So like this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's got to be bumped over. So when you do this one, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. There would be 4 numbers behind the decimal in the answer. Okay? And that's just part of what we got to get memorized. Like add and subtract, line them up. Multiply, bounce to the left. It's weird, but that's the whole lesson. It's what we got to kind of study or practice. Okay, I'm going to work out number 12. 12 is one that, I don't know, I don't think it's too bad, but okay, it looks like this, 0.0539, and I got 0.13. Okay, so, let's see, 3 times 9 is 27. Zero. Ooh. Okay. How many times do we move that one over? So how many's up here? 4 and 2, right? Which is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. There's nothing there. What do I do? Add a 0, because I need 6 numbers behind it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add a 0. Does that make sense? If there's an empty spot. Is that better? Kind of showing a few? The division is what is kind of really making kids wonder. Like, it's really stressing some kids out. So that's why I want to work on some of these division. So if you want to just skip to the division with me, leave you some space. You can work the other ones out later. But the division is what is really making people wonder. Okay. On the division, here we go. Okay. So there are these problems on the division. I'm just going to kind of jump around. I'll probably do like, I don't know, every other one or something, okay? Or maybe I'll do like the first couple. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Are we ready? So I'm going to just start with 13. Okay. Now, first off, we have to know, looking at this, that this goes inside the house. And this is your divisor, or on the outside. You've got to get that memorized. So what I mean by that is, when I write it on my paper, I'm going to do this. I'm trying to make it where y'all can see, but okay. I'm going to put 23.58 in the house and 4 outside. Okay, now, kind of go back to our weird questions. Where is the decimal in 4? $4. In front or behind?
Behind.
So is it 0.4 or 4 point? Point. That decimal right now is right there. Whenever it's a whole number, it is behind it. Okay, so my question is, do I need to move it anywhere?
No.
No. So do I need to move this one anywhere?
No.
Nope, but I do need to move it on up to the answer line. Okay? Move it on up to the roof. ceiling, top, quotient, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now listen, this is only dividing by 4. Just 4. So I'm going to use my fingers because I can't find what I'm doing. Okay. Can 4 go into 2?
No.
No. Not that I want y'all to see my hand gigantic, but here we go. Okay. Can 4 go into 23?
Yes.
How many times? 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay. 3 is left over. That's a good number because it's less than 4. Bring down the 5. 4 times what?
8.
8 is
32.
32. Bring down the next 8, or the 8, I'm sorry. 4 times
9.
is what?
36.
Okay. Now, let's stop right here for a second. Reevaluate. Okay, we got 2 as a remainder. There's a new rule in the world, starting, I guess, yesterday. We got to add a 0. Now, 1 at a time. Let's kind of see what happens here. Okay? 4 times what? Say it again. 5. Yes, that's right. So if I add 1 0, bring it down, I now have a 20. And 4 times 5 is 20. So sometimes you might add just 1 0 and it cleans everything up. You have no remainder. You are done, finished, completed, whatever. Like, sometimes it's that quick. Sometimes you may have to add 2 or 3 before we can figure it out. Does that kind of help a little bit, just to see one? Okay. I don't know, 14. It's not that hard. Here we go. It would be 0.4 to 0.36. Okay. What do we have to do in our divisor? Move it. How many times? Once. You got it. Okay, that makes it the number 4. Just plain old 4. Now I got to move it once over here, right? If I move it once here, I got to move it once here. And then bring it on up to the quotient. Okay. So is that making sense? Okay. Can 4 go into 2? Nope. 23. 5. Bring down a 6. 9. See, they're not all, a lot of them look bad, but like, they're not as bad as they look. Like, I don't know, y'all think they're horrible, but some of them are shorter than what you think. I'll be honest, division is based on multiplication tables. The more the multiplication tables you know, and kind of the quicker, speedier, that kind of thing, it just makes it easier. I don't know how else to say it. Let's do 17. Let's do 17. I will say I've done 18 on the video, so I'm gonna like earlier in the video. So I'm gonna do 17 now. Ooh, I like this one. Well, the reason I like it is because I want you to think, do we move the decimal at all?
No.
Why not? Like, do we move it out here in 24? It's already there, right. So we don't need to move it in 24. So if we don't move it in 24, do we move it in 176.8?
Nope.
Nope. So bring it on up. to the quotient. I'll give you a second, kind of get ahead of me on that one. You may have to guess a few times, like on 24s. Sit there like 24 times 2 or 24. I love working them out in front of you guys when I'm recording, and y'all think I know stuff, but I have to figure it out just as much. Okay, I'm going to bring the decimal straight up. 24 times 7, maybe? I'm thinking 24 is like a quarter, like 25 cents. So there's 4 in a dollar or 100. 16. Yep, 168. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, so I'm going to use that one. Okay, bring down the 8. It's probably times 3. I got 72. Okay, I'm just looking to see if I'm still in the camera view. Okay. I got 16 left. Okay, Miss Donahue said we got to add 1 0 at a time. Let's see what happens. If I add a 0 and bring it down. Okay, I personally know that if it ends in a 0, I'm thinking times 5. But that would be like 120 or something. 7 is too much. Yeah, I'm going to try 6 over here. And I get 144. Just making sure. Okay, so 6 is 144. Okay. I got 16 again. Ah, you're starting to see. If I added another 0, it would be 6 again, and it would keep going. Yes. What number repeats, though?
6.
6. Just that 6. These don't repeat. Make sure you put a repeater bar just on your 6 or 6's on the end. And you just leave this hanging down here. The reason you stop down here is because you told me it repeated up here.
So you just put a little bar above it?
Above only the numbers that repeat. Okay. Give me a second. Let's see. 18 is interesting, but I did it earlier. I'm going to do 19. Let's see. Since it's dividing by 65 or 0.65. Jumping around a little bit. Okay. Ooh, how many times do we have to move our decimal?
Twice.
Twice. Look right here. We're going to move it over once, twice. That makes it the number 65. Move it over twice here. Bring it on up to that quotient. 65. Does it go into 5?
No.
Or 53?
No.
No. So we start a big guessing game.
5.
Yeah, I mean, I would start with 5. I'm thinking it's less than 2 of them per 100. So I'm just going to start kind of guessing over here. Times 5. So times 5, I got 325. Okay, definitely got to go up. Maybe, okay, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5.
9.
I got 455.
9.
Someone saying 9. 54, 55, 60, 70.
It's pretty much.
So, try 8.
It has to be 8.
Okay, so listen, this is one of those questions. You don't want to erase this because you might use it later. Don't erase it, just leave it there. We want the 8, and we want to use the 520 that goes with the 8. Okay, 13 is definitely less than 65. Okay, now add a 0. And I have 130.
8. I think 2 is perfect. That's what
It's 130, exactly. 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So it is 2 exactly. It's one of those that looks really bad, like you think it's going to take forever, but because you're dealing with such a big number of 65, it really doesn't take that long. Yes? Number 11? Okay, wait a minute. Homework last night? For tonight, this. Last night. It's like 1 point something. Number on the homework last night, number 11 was on the video. 10 wasn't. I think it's the way I did it.
Oh, you was barbicide.
It was 10 I did, and 11 I didn't, but yeah.
No, you did 11 because it was the lizard.
Yeah.
And I love this class. It's the best class in all.
11 I did. I think. I'm starting to get good about That might have been last time. Okay, so I want you to finish this. Listen, I know I've done some of them, but I want you to finish it for homework. Tomorrow, having all 20 ready, whatever. Okay, here is the last thing I want to show real quick. On your quiz on test on Friday, okay, you might need to know the definition for algorithm, which you got the definition. I'm trying to show you, but for some reason it looks weird. Okay, right here. You got the definition in your notes back on September the 5th. Okay, that's one definition. Okay, another definition two definitions you will need to know are terminating decimal and repeating decimal. So you have those two from the 3rd. The last one or two is right here, and it's decimal and place value. Those are from back on 8/26 last week when we started decimals. Go back to what? Don't forget to study the place value chart. What number? On the problems? The first one. That one. Yeah. Yeah. And listen, I'm going to put out a Quizlet if this will help you. If you use Quizlet.
First thrombosis to be dismissed. First thrombosis may be dismissed.
Guys, listen real quick. If it helps you, I'm going to put out a Quizlet in just a little bit. It'll have these definitions in it that you can practice with Quizlet. Does everybody have the remind and all that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, you're good. Whose was this, Josh? There you go. No, I just did like 2 of each. Right, and there is